And we're live. Welcome and happy Friday, or whenever you're watching this. I am Peter Vaughan with Cardboard Alchemy. This is a behind the scenes at a publisher. We talk about games, the games we're making, the games we're playing. We want to hear what games you're playing. What are your weekend plans? We are headed into, this is our last Friday before Halloween. So now we need to know what you're playing for spooky season, what you're dressing up your pets as, all those critical details. We need all that info. And I am, about to fly out of town. So this is my last thing I'm doing before that. So I have a lot of fun, exciting things we've got conventions to talk about because Cardboard Alchemy, that's where we work. Cardboard Alchemy is going to 2 more conventions before the end of the year. We're still cramming in more. Hungry Gamer. Oh my God, it's Peter Vaughan. That's right. I am here. I'm doing the whole talk as a publisher thing, answering questions. If anyone has any questions about any of the games we make or the process of designing or developing or art directing or working on games, Cardboard Alchemy has released our 3rd game into the wild, and that is an epic time. That's where we're at right now. We have Androm Edge delivering all over the world. We are actually delivered to over 32 countries. I believe we're on our last 3 countries that haven't received the game yet. So that's exciting. We're trying to get it everywhere. Hello, we've got some people in. Ellie was first in today. Welcome. It's good to see you. It'll be great to see you since I'm talking about conventions, at BGG Con, where I suddenly just show up at. I'm very excited about that. And we've also got Rosie, our communications manager, in the comments and greeting everybody and also paying attention to what you say you're playing for spooky season, because Rosie has made a TikTok to that effect, saying what she'll be playing for spooky season. I also I run a group in Los Angeles called First Play LA. It's a designer group where once a month at least we have a open house, and designers can bring games and put them on the table. Some are scheduled, some are not scheduled. And I often ask, like, what's your favorite 6-player game? What's your favorite 2-player game? Or what theme do you like best? Or this month I asked, what is your absolute go-to spooky game to play? I got 64 people who answered. There were 32 unique answers, so that was kind of interesting to see that half of the group had something different to say, which just goes to show you that there's a lot of things you can play, but also interesting to know when people said the same thing. I wonder if anybody in the comments can guess what was the number 1 game, and we'll wonder if Rosie can guess too. We'll bring in Rosie and see if you can. Well, we'll have people guess. Oh, we're in space again. This is we're still in Andromeda Edge mode, so this is we're still going to be in space for a little bit longer. Then we're going to go to the kitchen. There's going to be a cooking planet apparently, and we're going to go to Critter Kitchen for a while after this.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I got new glasses.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
The other ones were
wrong. Different glasses.
The other ones were wrong. I'm slightly more blind. Although I put Doug's glass on the other day and I went, oh yeah, no, I'm all right. He's really.
Yeah, I need to get some. I need to get some new glasses. I have different color frames that I do. I usually have, so I have like, see these green ones. Yeah, so I do different colors depending, but I'm low on colors right now. I have like a couple that broke, so I need to get back.
You should get the ones that they're these ones you can like magnet clip different fronts to them.
Yeah. This is very similar. They're not a magnet, but they pop out really easily. No, they're not going to do it for me. But they pop.
People are guessing horrified. There's a lot of horrified guesses.
You know what? I will answer that horrified was in the top 10. Horrified was a big guess. People were guessing. You know, I'll tell you another one that's not in, but it was a big guess. It was werewolf. The werewolf is kind of a different vibe. You could definitely do werewolf all year round, but people do. This would be the month, I suppose, to get like a big werewolf game.
Yeah,
but that was not the winner. Also, not picked was Flamecraft was not picked for spooky season. What? How dare you? What was that?
There's a witch.
There are witches. There's the Pizza
Yeah,
Coven. That's one of my favorite shops. Just it
outrageous.
has that Kiki's Delivery Service vibe to it. You know what I mean?
It does. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Kiki's Delivery Service style games, video games and board
Mhm.
games. It's
Yes.
something about like it's a game concept, the idea of delivering parcels.
Yes.
I think
Pick
works
up and
really well.
deliver. Yeah.
But there is like a witchy delivery one that's really hard to get now. I think it's like Kiki's Delivery Service. It's got like a
Are you
really
talking about
classic style box.
Broom Service?
Yes, that's the one. Yes, it's quite hard to get now.
Broom Service is a great game. Classic. It won Spiel, I believe, way back in the day. And I want to name the designer, but I'm blanking right now. But it is a very very fun game where you are choosing. There's witch types, and then there's sort of what's the other type of thing? There's sort of another creature in the thing, and you have to pick. It's almost like you're picking seasonal. It's like you're picking the fall witch or the spring witch or whatever,
Feister?
or the what was that? Yeah,
Feister?
I think it is a Feister game. Yeah.
Because people are
Uh,
spelling it, but I don't know if I want to say what's being spelt by Hungry Gamer. So it's like, are you all
yeah,
right, Hungry Gamer?
it's so funny. I don't see any of the comments in my chat area. Also
Yeah,
refresh.
Hungry Gamer and Axel both said
Here we go. Yeah,
Feister?
Alexander Feister, who makes another of my favorite, a lot of great games. And Broom Service is really clever because what's happening is there is you can play like a witch sort of. You can play a card. What's the term? It's just like it's not boldly or weakly. But you're deciding like, do you want to play strong? Do you want to play bold? But you're leading. So if I lead with like the forest witch and I lead sort of boldly or whatever it is, then someone else who's after my turn order can take control and I get nothing. If I lead weakly, I get like a one-time power. I get a very weak power, but I definitely get it. So I get to take an action. If I lead sort of meekly or whatever the term is, I get to definitely do something, but I don't get the strong action. So what you're doing is you're also kind of deciding like who would be taking the forest witch action. Is it just me? If I think it's just me, then I'm in early turn order, maybe I go boldly out there. And then whoever wins the trick is going to lead the next one, so they're at a disadvantage to know if they've got it under control. And meanwhile, you're trying to bottle up 3 different colors of potions and deliver them to different towers and castles and stuff. And so it has a fun. All of the witches, all of you start in one part of the area of the board where there is low point scoring. But if you fly far enough, there's the very high point and scores. And there's also very oddly, but maybe it's as fun as there's weather conditions. So there's clouds that you can't get through. So you are trying to cast some spell to move off the clouds. Broom Service is very fun. I think
I really want to play it.
I don't think there's another game kind of like it. It just has this really interesting vibe to it, and I think still it stands out. People I play with still say, "Oh, let's play Broom Service." So I'll have to.
I remember I was at Aircon and my friend Ava and they were all playing it, and I ran over and I was trying to find this event I was going to, and they were all just the vibe at the table did not match what was on the table. Like it just everyone was like it was just such a maybe it's the way they played it. And then there was also a card game of Broom Service released
yes,
recently.
because
They said it was
it
very
was very popular. That's
Yeah.
what happens when you win Spiel des Jahres. When you win the big award of the entire board game sphere, then you go, let's do a card game version as well. I mean, it's not a bad idea for any game that's popular, and maybe we'll have to think of a Flamecraft small game as well someday.
Yeah,
but yes, Mark says the subject is spooky season games, and we're still guessing. I did a poll, I did a meetup where I asked everyone what their favorite was, and only one of the top games so far has been mentioned. I think actually Horrified was top 5. But what do you think other people said?
So I did a video where I did 10, and I'm trying to now off the top of my head remember the 10.
What was on your 10?
So I'm gonna describe them and see if you can guess.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
So one of them is a heavy witchy game where you're trying to hire witches, but also avoid witch hunters.
You're trying to hire witches.
It's a big, beautiful game.
Big, beautiful game.
And you love the organization of the deluxe.
Okay, great. Then it's Septima,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I have not played Septima yet, and I love that game. Looks great. I can't wait to play Septima.
Yeah, they get Septima.
Will, we got to play Septima because Will is shouting out. I know he has it as well. We got to play it.
It's so beautiful. I need to swap. I have a German deluxe. I need to swap everything and then pass the German one off to my brother-in-law. The next one is very family friendly. It's still witchy, but it's potion brewing with some disastrous consequences.
Oh, you're talking about Potion Explosion?
Nope.
No. Oh, it's potion brewing with disastrous consequences. Potion brewing. I don't know.
Someone in the comments has got it. You like the
I do love this game. I love Quacks of Quedlinburg. It is fantastic. What another really interesting, like no one would have thought that you could name a game Quacks of, I mean, North Star figured that out. I don't know how they thought that was going to work, and I don't know why it worked, but it is such a great game.
Yeah, and I remember someone sitting down doing a video on it and saying, "You're never going to guess the name of this game." Like,
Here's a fun story. So we were all playing at a board game night in Los Angeles, and there's a friend of mine, and I taught her that game, and we all started playing it a lot, and we really got into it. She likes it so much that she went to Essen this year. And then she drove on to Quedlinburg because she had to see the town.
That's awesome. To see it.
I was like, that's cool. Amazing.
That's the goal, is to play Carcassonne in Carcassonne, play Quacks of Quedlinburg in Quedlinburg. Yeah, exactly. Just as the world tour with a very heavy suitcase.
Dwellings of Eldervale in Eldervale. That's what it is.
I don't know and Andromeda's Edge in Andromeda.
I mean, that is we could go there eventually, right?
Eventually, it's a long-term goal.
Yeah. It's a it's worker placement. End goals is what you got to work on. Yeah. All right. So you have another one?
Yes, the great inky one in the sky.
Oh, there we go, Cosmoctopus. None of these games yet have made it into the ones that I had people shouting out, but that's okay. These are great games.
My ones were kind of spoopy, which means cute and spooky, which because my audience and myself aren't into like really, really scary ones.
There's one on my list that falls into the spoopy category. That
maybe. I've got one that's not very. I've got a solo one, but I don't know if you know it, but it's very similar to the Septima theme, where your witch is trying to stop a bad thing from happening, but also trying to not make it clear that you're a witch. And it's a solo game. And it was released last year.
A solo game was just whoosh.
It's by Salt and Pepper Games, and it's called Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Well, it's got a story mode as well, and Doug loves it. My partner plays a lot of solo. So
that's cool.
So it's really it was a big one for them last year at Essen, and we had to run and grab it. So
Will knows that one.
You might know this solo though. It's like it's a famous solo, I think, where you're in a labyrinth of nightmares and you're trying to find all the doors and the keys to escape.
But I mean, is it just solo, or you can play with other people, right?
You can kind of play with other people, but it's mostly solo. Pardon?
Is it the Night Cage? Oh, okay. Because that one.
This one's got a universe of its own for all of the games. Like they're all in the same universe.
Are you talking about? Well, wait. What was your description? Because I was gonna say Final Girl, but I don't think that was where you were at. But that's
no. Ed's got it. It's Honorim.
Oh, gotcha.
Part of the Honorverse, which is a series of solo, but also can be played with two.
Nice.
And that is a game that comes with 7 expansions in the game.
Wow, that's cool.
It's really cool.
We are right after my heart at Cardboard Alchemy. That's what we do. Lots of things in the box.
There was one that I hadn't played yet, but we put on the list because we just got it, which is a game your son likes, and this one is a new version of it, and it has witches in it.
It
And a
has
guy holding a skull.
So we're talking about Unmatched then, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a new version with Shakespeare, and who else is in there? The witches?
Hamlet, Titania and Oberon, the witches, and
yeah.
Shakespeare's in it as well.
Yeah.
But I unboxed it and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Slings and arrows. Look at Hungry Gamer go.
No, he's on fire, and he only missed one because he was away from the keyboard. You can't leave during the stream. You got to be right here for this.
I wonder if he'll get this one though,
because I played Unmatched with my son again, and he was playing. I introduced, actually, was playing with someone who hadn't played it for a while. So we were Spider-Man versus the Raptors, which my son, of course, dinosaurs he was in, and then I was playing for the first time King Arthur and Merlin. Merlin got chopped down early, just eaten by raptors. But you know what? We prevailed. King Arthur did the job. Anyway, what else you got for spoopy?
So this one is you are at school or an academy of mythical creatures, and you're playing a game where you're trying to get the other team caught by the groundskeeper or the tomekeeper. And basically it's a game of like trying to get got. It does sound like it, doesn't it? It does sound like it. It's got beautiful minis.
Yep, Hungry Gamer got it.
Yep.
I have not played it yet, but that one is that's like a lot of fun, different factions you can be, right?
I think it's your kind of game because of the amount of factions that are in it.
Yeah, seriously, I'm like a large.
It's just remembering because they've all got their own different movements, but they're similar because the whole point is that you can slightly adjust and jump around this maze. It's remembering what your powers are and seeing those things. I find it really hard to see them because my brain doesn't work that way. So I want to try it out, but then it kind of gives my plan away. This one I don't know if anyone's going to get this one because I found it randomly. It's by ALO, if that helps anyone. It's a 2-player and it's a programming game where you are running a hotel in hell, and all of your guests do not like each other and want to tear the place down, and you just want to be the last one to fall.
Interesting. Don't know that one either.
Yeah, I got it randomly and I really liked it. And it's if anyone here's
a yellow game, there's King of Tokyo where you have a Halloween edition of King of Tokyo that also it's pretty fun.
It should be, yeah. This is one that always does well online because it looks like Has Been Hotel, which is very popular. It's just like cartoon that's really popular, and so got me. He's out. It's called Helton Palace, but I'd never heard of it either until I got the copy and I went, this is kind of cool. I love programming games. I really enjoy trying to make sure your order is correct and then seeing if it plays out. But yeah, and then I think
that Brad once showed me a design of like a spooky no thanks where it was like a hotel. It was pretty neat. Yeah.
There's an Oink game where you have items in your hand and you have to drop specific ones fastest and grab a little ghost.
Don't know that one either.
Anyone got that one?
Wow, you know all the small pocket spoopy games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know my Oink games. Apparently, I know some of them.
This was a big one online. It's called Dropolta, and it's the designer came up to me at Essen and he was so sweet. He was just like, "Cozy Board Games." He was so sweet.
That's awesome.
And the final one, which you won't know, is Little Ghost, which is by Chris Riddell, who's an artist in the UK that I love. He's children's book laureate, and it's very cute. And it's I try to describe it's a bluffing game, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But they're all mostly cute. Mostly cute.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you now the top 3 mentioned by a game designer group that had not the mission of going just spoopy, but the number 3 choice was Boop. Boop has a Halloween version, and apparently it's on everyone's mind.
I would have featured it if I had it. I had Boop in the background of the video, but I don't own Boop. I only own Boop.
I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's just ghosts or what.
There's a slight like change in that there's like witchy cats, but the designer told me it wasn't a drastic change, whereas with Boop the Halls, it's quite a bit different. So
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that there's a different. I like that there's a, Boop the Halls is fun theme too. I don't own any version, so now I have to decide which version to get of that game.
you've got the best. You can choose from all three.
I know now. Or I should just, because I think there's another one coming where the game is inside a cat. I don't know. There might be. I need to wait for that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I think there's a. I
A
think
mini,
there's
a mini Boop, a Bop.
Huh?
Is it Bop? Mini Boop.
Boop adds a ghost cats mechanism. All right, that could be the. I think it could be now. The second game named by my board game group was Eldritch Horror. I don't know if you played that one. It's kind of. I think it's a shorter.
But I think Doug plays the card game version with his friend.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Arkham Horror.
Well, there's Arkham Horror. There's Arkham Horror. The TCG. There's Eldritch Horror. There's Eldritch Horror to the card game. I think there's a lot of variations of this thing. But the number one choice by like a landslide was Betrayal at the House on the Hill. I mean, to me, that's a great Halloween choice because, all of you are going into a haunted house and doing the most intelligent thing and splitting up, of course, and then it just goes awful at that point. And there's a lot of omens and different things, and the house is creepy, and you put on the right music. It's awesome to me.
What's your favorite like story that you've played of it? Because they're all different, aren't they?
They're all different. I do have my favorites because I played a lot of Betrayal. It's actually inspired some game designs for me. That tile laying that sort of builds and you find some it's definitely influenced me in sort of my board game design and development career. So I've played a lot of it. I know sometimes it goes wrong. Some people don't like it because, of course, sometimes it's short. Like basically it's unwinnable, or there's things that happen that make it less completely baked out. Like, for example, the original version of it had like an underground lake, but it was on the top floor. It was really weird. But that was kind of funny that it was weird. But they had screwed up the printing of it, and so it was on the top floor, this underground lake. But I think some of my favorite ones are there's one where the house is alive and there's an organ room that is like the heart, and then there's a conservatory that's like the lung. There's all these different parts of the house, like the entire thing.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's really fun that like you have to basically get something and then go stab the heart. There's a brain. I forget which room is all the different ones, but they have all of the house figured out. I think one of the weirdest ones that I played was that you run into death and you need to play chess against death or something, and beat death at chess. That was bizarre.
That locked one player in, didn't it, against death, and they had to just keep playing, and then everyone else was running around trying to save them.
I don't remember what.
I think my dad got stuck with death, which was funny because he doesn't play a lot of games. He's a religious studies teacher, and it was rather amusing that he was the one locked in, and we're like, sorry, Dad.
The rule of Betrayal at the House on the Hill is the person who's least experienced with a game is going to be the traitor. Probably 99% of the time. They're going to be like, what do I do? I also played one that I really liked, but it only works when the house gets big. I don't like it when it's not big, but the entire house starts to collapse like outside tiles in. Really love that one. Awesome. That was really cool. But
my favorite,
not so good.
My favorite was when this giant bird picks up the house and there's only one parachute. And so you're basically trying to knock off all the other players to get the parachute. And it was just really funny because there'd be moments like, you enter the room and you've got a gun, and then the dog comes in and takes the gun. Like it's this whole thing going on. And it wasn't even in any way like mystical. It was just the idea that you had to knock everyone out and jump out the window. But and then I think someone fell through the floors with the parachute because there were holes. Wow. It was really fun. It was really fun.
That game can lead to a lot of fun stories. And the thing that I always do when I'm sort of running that game for friends who haven't played or they're not used to it is I said, now the house is going to kill you. You are going to lose everything. Don't feel bad because I've had a friend play and they're like, every turn this stuff happens to me and I lose sanity and health. And I'm like, yeah, that is the point of what we're playing. It's not going to be good. It's not going to end well. No. You sort of get into that mode,
Yeah.
Honorable mentions at our game group was, I had mentioned the Night Cage because that's kind of new, and it's same makers as the people who make Boop, actually. And also Dead of Winter, kind of a classic.
Yeah.
Now,
That's one of the first games we ever got was Betrayal at House on the Hill. We still have I want to say the original, or at least one of the first printings.
Yeah.
Ours is very old. In fact, Tower Rex, who make this beautiful insert, said, "Hey, can we send you like a spooky one for Halloween, like last year?"
Oh, that's cool.
And I said that my betrayal. They said, "What about betrayal?" And I said, "My betrayal won't fit your betrayal insert because it's so old."
Yeah, right. It's so old. Yeah.
Like I would love to, but it's super old.
One of the things I think was really satisfying about that game is that when I played, and I played like from the beginning, I kept saying, you know what they need to do with this game? They need to make Scooby-Doo version. They have to take this to Scooby-Doo. And then they did. It was like years later that it was like, oh, we're doing the Scooby-Doo version. I was like, oh, that's great. It's perfect. That's exactly what that show felt like. And the Legacy version, which I
really want to play it. I don't have the
I
group.
want to play
I
it
really
too.
want to play it.
Okay, so this is what we got to do, Rosie. We got to find the right con, and then we're just going to lock ourselves away and play Betrayal Legacy.
We have to be dressed as
Legacy.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the Scooby-Doo version. I have played a Legacy game at a con because I think it's a really good time to play sort of Legacy games out where you get like a lot of sessions in. I have done it where I've actually finished an entire Legacy game and one where I didn't finish the entire Legacy game. But I did do at the last BGG con that I went to, which is the one I'm going to again this year. I played Ticket to Ride Legacy, the entire thing, which was fun. Not spooky, but fun.
I know. I'm sure they could do a spooky kind of.
There was a spooky moment. I can't spoil it, but there's a spooky moment in Ticket to Ride Legacy.
So. I love Legacy games. The last one I played would have been Near and Far, or I think it would have been Pandemic, but we just never. It took us a year to do Charterstone because of just organizing, meeting up.
So Charterstone is the one I didn't finish. We did like I think 6 out of the 12. We did like half.
I don't think that's a binge. I don't think you want to binge that one. Like
I think that's the problem. Is we were like, let's do it again. We're like, let's just like get we gotta get our bearings on the rest of the con.
Yeah, no, I agree. But no, I think that's an event someone should run. Is Legacy like full? Do you want to lock yourself away and play a Legacy game?
Yeah,
here's the music. Here's the lighting.
Yeah, awesome. Cons are interesting because it depends on if you're working them or not. If you're working them like we just worked Essen, you don't have time for that.
I think I played 8 games, and that's pretty good for me, Essen.
Yeah, I did get at least a couple in at night. We played SETI, and we played just a couple different ones. Fishing for the one from Freedom Retreats. But I generally if I go to BGG Con, it's a whole different ball game because usually we're not going to work it, and usually it's like a marathon, and it's a marathon with a giant library, so you can pick whatever you want. I'm very excited that this year we're gonna have Androm Edge in the library. Can't wait to see if people check that out. I hope they do. There's a hot games room at BGG where we'll have, hopefully, Androm Edge will be in the hot games room. In which case, it'll be fun to see how it does.
We'll warm one up just in case. We'll put it in the microwave. We'll give it the best shot.
I was about to say, I don't think you should do that to the minis. However, I will say that I think if any of your plastic needs a little touch up, I don't think heat does. Hot water, I think, gets minis all back to normal. But I know that last year when I was there, we did that marathon a couple of years we've done. Sometimes we brought prototypes there. I've actually gone to BGG and we got a lot of testing done. So this year is no different. I am going to go with a top secret. It's not top secret. I'm going to go with a Cardboard Alchemy game to play with anyone who wants to try it out. I'm going to go with Whisperwood. Whisperwood is going to go to BGG Con. Very excited by that.
That's awesome.
And
That's really cool.
Whisperwood, for anyone who doesn't know, because I've mentioned a couple times on the stream, but we're going to be talking about it a lot more, is a game by several of our team members. Actually, Brad Brooks and Chris Strain are two of the designers, and then also Aaron McDonald is the third designer. And it is a very fun, it's not spoopy, but you are going into a corrupted, dark forest where it's all, like these ancient, this ancient magical war has been fought there. And so now the forest is completely dark and corrupted, and all these ancient golems that fought back a dark sorcerer have been shut down, and you are going to go into the forest and start to clean it up and restore it magically with the elemental powers that you have, but also the help of the animals. The animals are going to help you so that you can clean it up with the help of otters and bears and owls and there's all sorts of animals that we have in there. There's a frog, by the way, Rosie. So we can relax. There's a frog in there.
I'm always worried when there isn't a frog in one of our games now. I'm like, it's gonna be a frog, right? Like Sandara never knew when I went, you can draw a frog, and she's like, maybe that what this would start.
Yeah.
Because now I've got the cookie cutters for Critter Kitchen, because I was checking quality control, but also going to start making some content with them for when the game starts getting out there into the world. I now have my Lily cookie cutters, so for my wedding, which is appearing soon, it's happening, I'm going to make a bunch of Critter Kitchen cookies, including a large load of Lily ones. And I'm just going to buy cookie dough from a store, because who's got time, really? I don't.
You're not going to do your...
I'm sneaking Cardboard Alchemy in little ways into the wedding, if anyone can spot it.
I love the fact that you're going to have that. You'll have the first test of the critter cutters. Like that's going to be fun.
Yeah, if anyone's eating them, I'd be like, what do you think? Tell me what you think. I've got the coins into a little thing. The Flamecraft coins will be used, and there's the odd potion bottle logo will be floating around. So
it's fun because we had that moment where we had folks writing us letters. We still do get a letter occasionally, and I still have letters I'm trying to write back to. But we got invited to, I think, 3 weddings that had Flamecraft themes to them. 3, yeah. I didn't go to any of the weddings. I feel bad about that. I was very busy, but I did kind of want to go to the weddings because I was like, that's pretty awesome that we got invited to weddings with the Flamecraft theme was big on those weddings. So
that's adorable. I hope if you're out there, people who had Flamecraft at your weddings, I would love to see pictures. That would be so cool. I know people who've had board game, instead of dancing, they have board games out, and they have a whole hall full of people playing board games, which is really cool. I will have board games played at my wedding, but I'd be surprised if anyone gets a game that is longer than like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Because you're there for something else, you know what I mean?
I mean, I won't get to do anything. I'll be running around, but we've put a bunch of little games out, like In Vino Morte.
Oh, that's fun.
We've got OK Play, because that plays up to 6. So ones that people also can be explained with loud music playing and in 5 minutes.
I mean, if it wasn't for the loud music, I'd be like, who wants to do Andromeda's Edge right now, right? Get that sucker out on, like, just move the wedding table stuff over and be like, yeah. I've never been to a wedding with games before. I've never seen that. So this is new to me.
I've seen them in a very small amount, like a stack in the corner of, like, Scrabble and stuff. But this is actually at a board game venue, so they already have loads of games there. Flamecraft is there.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Andromeda's Edge will be there.
Yeah. Nice. If I was to have a wedding again, which I don't think we're doing that, I would do board games. Just be like, listen, this is just doing board games.
Yeah.
I love that's why the cons that we're talking about are so much fun. Like, in particular, the ones that have a big library, because then you are like, I have been on board game cruises. I don't know if you've been on one of those.
I haven't been on a boat in like 20 years, but I would love to go on a board game cruise.
And so I was just talking with someone about the best one is the Joko cruise, because they take over the entire boat. The entire boat is all board gamers, and it's unbelievable. That one is the pinnacle of board game cruises. Although I've heard that the Board Game Geek one is good. I've heard that I have been on the Dice Tower one as well. Now the Dice Tower one takes about 60% of the boat. They did take over. Maybe they don't take over 60%. They're working on it, but they have a large amount of the boat, and so you don't have to. You don't always have to worry about the other folks, but it is kind of funny. I did have this moment at the Dice Tower cruise where I was at a dinner table, and I was there with Andrew Tulson, who at the time was running Print and Play. So Andrew Tulson and I were definitely there for board games. That's all we were doing, was board games, board games, board games. There was another couple there that was like all tan. They were like wearing like almost no clothes. They were like, we're hitting the beach every day. We're going zip lining. That was their entire cruise. And they looked at us like they were like, what are you doing with this cruise? And then there was another couple there, this nice old couple that was like, all dressed to the nines, and they had been to the theater every day, and they were like always going to a musical, and they were like, what are you doing with your cruise? You're playing board games? So
there are musicals on cruises.
There's all sorts of things on cruises. There is casinos on cruises. There's just comedy clubs.
I could get that.
yeah, but there was theater performances they were going to every night.
Actually, that makes sense, because a lot of my friends who did drama and tried to become like West End actors and stuff did a lot of cruise stuff. Yeah, I just assumed they were like, you don't know Butlins. Everyone knows Butlin style, like, hello everyone, we're gonna do some rubbish magic tricks. And
I don't
think it's a British thing.
Yeah, no, it was a whole thing. So it was just wild to see like how people were using their cruise time.
Did you ever have like an issue with stuff?
Cruises no. It's a big boat, right? So there isn't the whole rocking. I mean, there is motion that you can definitely feel certain moments, but it definitely on the inside you feel like you're just in another board game convention, and there's a bunch of games going on.
Yeah, I wonder if I'd feel ill or not. I remember when I was younger, I went on like a Sea Cat, which is really just like a giant boat. It's a giant bus. It's not really like tables or anything. And on the way back, I was just like, oof.
I don't think so.
If it's big enough, maybe you don't notice.
Now, the other funny thing about board game conventions on cruises is that there's a magical moment in the night where, so all of the elevators usually say what day it is on the bottom of the elevator. So they have a mat that they stick on the inside of the elevators to remind you what the hell day it is. So you get into the elevator, and it will say like Monday, right? And then at some hour of the evening, like 2 a.m. or whatever, they change it to Tuesday, so that like you wake up the next day and you know it's Tuesday, because otherwise you have no idea what day it is. But since we were up that late playing board games, we saw the changing of the mats, and we were like, okay, so the illusion is over. But it's very key to know what the hell day it is on those things. So you're just at sea and you have no idea what's going on.
I really want someone to make a cruise that looks like a Starship Enterprise, because
there you go.
They look like ships, don't they? How cool would that be? Like I know they made a hotel at Disneyland and you could stay there and it looks like whatever. But imagine a boat one where it's like, and like, that would be awesome.
So the other convention that we're going to, I am going there with Chris, is PAX Unplugged. Sorry, Rosa, we couldn't get you that one this year, but we will work on that.
That's okay. I think Doug's 40th. He might hurt me. No, wouldn't. Right. He might be annoyed if I missed his 40th.
Next year, maybe. We're taking Andromeda Edge there. Shocker. And Luke Laurie is going to join us as well. He's on the show circuit these days, so that's gonna be fun.
You're gonna have to do all my filming.
Yes, I will have to record that one. Get him. There might actually be games in this one.
We
just did Essen, and none of the games arrived. If everyone didn't hear that story, but so the games were stock in customs. We still demoed the best of our ability. We did had fun. We had a memorable Essen, but boy, that was partially memorable because there were no games there. I think the goal of PAX U will be to actually change that and go again with Lucky Duck and have board games there. So I don't know who else is doing a con on to end the year. Actually, Andromeda Edge will also appear at GridCon believe in about a month. No, less than a month. GridCon with Mark Dainty's going to demo it there.
And that's Paul Grogan's convention.
Paul Grogan's event. Yes, he's it's in the UK. We've got the UK is coming up on, there's more and more air cons every year.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of things going on in the UK.
True. Yeah, there's a northeast one which is in it's very north. It's in Newcastle. Yeah. And that one is like about 1,000, 2,000 people now. So they're growing, and they hire out like a stadium for that one. So it's a very different vibe because you're just in a stadium. So rather than a hotel, which is the classic. So more and more.
I don't know if you know this because you came on at Cardboard Alchemy, but before you came on, I believe people were demanding that there be a Cardboard Alchemy UK con. And now, I mean, there's a shot now because you could basically say, "All right, I'll take it on."
I mean, I have been offered a booth at this northeast one. If they're like, "You need a booth," and I went, "Well, I don't know what I would put there." Thanks. But if you want to send a wall of plush, that would be great.
Yeah. So we have to find out. All right. So we've got about 20 minutes left, and we've got some people here. What is everyone playing this weekend, or what do you want to know about any of the games we're making? Have you played Andromeda's Edge yet? We're too early to talk about Critter Kitchen, although that is coming in the new year. It's gonna be fun. The Andromeda's Edge excitement has continued because this month we got a nod from two huge content creators. The Dice Tower said that Andromeda's Edge had the seal of excellence with a lot of good ratings, and we also heard from Rado's channel. Shay gave it an amazing look at Andromeda's Edge, so we're very excited.
Yeah, he struggled to think of anything he didn't like.
I know. He's like, well, let me see if I can think of anything I don't like about this game. He's like, nope, I love this game. That was really great. No, he had something to say, but
it was really cool.
Really the theme connected, and I was really glad for that because Shay is in Los Angeles, and that was the first time I ever played Twilight Imperium 4. It was 4, I believe. I played with Shay in the game, and Shay also put out the definitive Twilight Imperium 4 videos about how to play, how to win. And I was like, oh, great. I'm against an expert at this game. And I won that game, by the way. I did win that game. That's maybe the last time I'll ever be able to say that. It was an amazing game.
I think since I've joined, you've struggled to win. I feel like all these stories are before pre me.
I play games for fun, and I don't always win the games. By the way, Mark, just to not ignore your comment, it's awesome that you have Andromeda's Edge on the table right now.
Very cool. Which faction are you playing right now?
Yeah, we need to know your faction. Meanwhile, the Twilight Imperium game, that game takes it can take hours and hours and hours. So this one took us 10 hours, I think. The person running it, it was a really clever idea the way the person running it. So the idea that they had is there was going to be teams. Usually, I don't think you play teams, but every faction was going to have a team, and one person on the team was an expert, and one person was a complete noob, which was me. So I was playing with someone who totally played tons of times, and that was great because then you don't have the questions could just be handled off turn, and you could just ask your expert team member. The other thing that they made as a rule, and I'm still surprised it took 10 hours given this, is that how we said to have one person at the table. So you could have someone leave and go get some food and whatever, but someone had to be there if there was a tactical decision or a negotiation or something that you had to do at the table. 10 hours seems like average. Yeah, it was a commitment. Allied Tribes is the faction that Mark is playing. It's his favorite, if I am not mistaken, on our Facebook group, Allied Tribes.
What I'd like to know, Mark, is if you're still drawing 3 at random and picking one from those, or if you're just picking ones you want to play. I'd like to know if you're still randomizing it.
The answer to that question, that is when you are tracking someone else's movement up a track. It does work at any time someone goes up a track, I believe. If that's the one you're talking about. Someone goes up any track, then you can go. Now, what was your question again, Rosie? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said if Mark's randomizing his factions anymore.
Okay.
If he's picking
the other thing that I would like to know from Mark is, has he played the game that the Allied Tribes is based on? Rise of Tribes. Wonder if he's played that one. That is a game by Brad Brooks that I helped develop for. We were developing that game for over a year, and it really got, I think got so good, so tight. It's a very interesting game. Picking the ones I play. Yeah.
That's what I do. If you're playing it solo a lot, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are playing Androm's Edge solo, then picking your commander and picking your faction and tracking how you do. I know Mark keeps a lot of data. I can't wait to see all of that data over time, not just from Mark, but just how people are feeling about it. There is some talk. There's always talk of which faction is OP. Right now, the Zodian Warmongers are having their heyday in the threads. People saying the Zodian Warmongers are crushing it. I heard the Pulse War Refugees were crushing it. People talk about the Space Pirates crushing it. I have not. When we were developing the game, the Pulse War Refugees were strong, but the Arkanoan Shipwrights were considered absolutely broken. And I have not heard a peep out of anyone saying the Arkanoan Shipwrights, but they have been, like, in our Discord, the best for a while. Nobody ever shouts out about the Technoblurps, but man, those are really good too.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
I know.
I think I just really like being able to lord damage over people. Like, it's damage.
Well, there's also not that you ever pick factions at different times, but if you feel like someone's going to go Plutonian Empire, then the Technoblurps is a great way to stop. They're all there to take away all their joy trying to damage you because you are immune.
It's true.
Or almost immune.
I guess you'd have to make sure that you can't ever really know. You'd all have to go and reveal, because someone could be like,
yeah, no, I mean, it depends on the group, whether or not. There was also a thread, actually, I was thinking no one was ever going to say that the Draconar and Flamekeepers were broken, but I did see one of those BGG threads where it's like they're absolutely broken, and I was like, wow, there goes the Flamekeepers. That's right. They know how to do it. They can fly a ship.
Are you doing like broken bingo? Where you see if all of the factions can get told that they're broken.
Oh, look at that. I haven't had a chance to play them, but I did have a friend mention that they are broken. Actually, that's very ironic because they can't be broken. See, that's the whole thing about them. There's 18 factions in Andromeda's Edge. We hope to hear that all of them are broken. Thank you. All of the factions are broken. That is the correct answer.
Which means they're all not broken.
Another game that Luke makes. So Luke Laurie and Maximus Laurie were the designers of Andromeda's Edge. Luke makes a game called Whistle Mountain. Now, if there's a game with broken stuff in it, there is that game. And I have told Luke, I said, I don't want to be one of those people that says this is broken, but this is definitely broken. And he's like, I know, it's great. So it's very fun to make those kind of games where everything feels powerful. In fact, in Dwellings of Eldervale, that was a game that I worked with where
I just saw it.
Yeah, this is the shirt we made for this one with all the 4 workers.
It's not anything.
Well, that's a worker. So Dwellings of Eldervale, I said to Luke, I was like, this feels broken, this feels broken. And one of them that felt really broken was, so we had the Clerics of the Dawn in Dwellings of Eldervale, and when the clerics get sent to the underworld, they can bring a cleric back. It's like they're not phased by that death. And I had a card that said whenever someone dies, you could get like a bunch of points. And I had another card that said whenever someone gets a bunch of points, you can do it again. I was like, this is clearly broken. And I got something like an obscene amount of points off of it. But while I was doing that little combo loop, the person I was playing against totally won the game. So there could be distracting little things you can try and do. They're not necessarily winning you the game. Oh, that's nice. The dwelling shirt. Yeah, I did.
I did wait until the end of the live, yo.
It's funny. I made this shirt. I really liked the icons that the graphic designer made for Dwellings of Eldervale. And we tried to do this exact same shirt for Andrommeda's Edge, but it felt really weird with 4 ships. So we did just the singular faction logos for that one. I actually have the artwork. There is one piece of Dwellings artwork that is mine because I commissioned it separately from Breaking Games, and I might actually make a Dwelling shirt with like new stuff on it because I think it would be fun to get some shirts. We are still committed to getting t-shirts in a t-shirt site so that people can get shirts. I will do it. Can't do this one. I can do a different Dwellings one for you though. Anyway, and Axel has a Techno Blarp shirt. This is great because Axel has been. We appreciate all of our backers. We especially appreciate when people have been with us for 1 or more campaigns. Axel has been with us on every campaign, which is a very unique position to have. We did our first one with in 2020. So Cardboard Alchemy is almost, well, we're about 4.5 years old. So fun times. We will work out the shirts. What was that?
Splat said Halloween party tomorrow with spooky themed games and Arkham Horror Night.
Excellent.
Very cool. Is anyone having a Halloween party? I'm going to one on Monday night, which is actually a murder mystery party. And I have a character and everything, so that'll be fun.
Nice. Excellent. I like those.
I think I'm like a mystical seer of things. That's what my one is.
You know what else would be a great game for this season? I just realized not just Werewolf, but Blood on the Clock Tower would be amazing for.
Yes.
Blood on the Clock Tower would be great.
What's a great way is to just watch No Rolls Barred whilst eating Halloween snacks.
If you can't get out to one of those things, No Rolls Barred has amazing Blood on the Clock Tower episodes. And I did play it for the first time. This year was my first time playing it. I played it at Tantrum Con. And at Essen, we got to hang out with the folks, some of the folks from Tantrum House. That was a lot of fun. They're planning another really fun event in 2025. That's a fun con to go to. I like the Halloween party at the old Steam Train Association tomorrow. No board games, but fondue. Fondue is enough for me. I would be there for fondue. I haven't had fondue in forever. That'd be great.
That's awesome. Halloween is our wedding anniversary from Yale. That's awesome. Did you have a spooky wedding? Like, I would maybe if you have it on Halloween, I would guess.
I had I had a wedding night on a Friday the 13th. And that was the rehearsal dinner. So it was very spooky on the day before.
That's cool.
The other thing I was going to say that I remember now, which fits Cardboard Alchemy, is I do like the whole. I like Halloween from every angle. I like dressing up. I like having candy out. I like going and seeing all the people doing crazy stuff. And my son is now sort of at the age where now he doesn't want to go out and trick or treat or anything. But I still would do anything. I want to do a Ghostbusters costume at some point. I did. This is where the memory I was going with. I used to do a costume where I was an evil scientist and I had all these beakers and things like that. And I would pour drinks for people because I used to bartend and I was like, oh, I'll make you something, some cocktail, some mixture and dry ice. And I had a lot of fun being a mad scientist for years.
That's awesome.
And it's no surprise then that I went to go be part of Cardboard Alchemy where we're doing potions and all sorts of stuff all the time.
I had a professor. What's the Harry Potter? There's the lady with the bug-eyed glasses who, the Grim. I had a costume of her, and I went to this. It was like a Harry Potter quiz night, and there were people dressed up and everything. And I was so well dressed up, they thought I was one of the teachers walking around, and they'd ask me for hints, and I'd be like, "No, no, I don't do anything."
That's fun.
I've actually worn it in like an old job like video when we made content for a Harry Potter party craft. So if anyone comes across that and sees it's me, it's me screaming at a giant tinfoil spider. So
my favorite costume that I ever made for my son though was I made him Iron Spider as a costume. So we did Spidey, and then I got all this PVC pipe that we got him a backpack that matched the costume, and then I had PVC pipe coming out of the backpack in all these spider arms. It was so fun to work on that costume.
That's
He did
awesome.
not like it though, because he felt very self-conscious in all the Halloween crowds, because he had to like clear all these people in that awesome spider
Yeah.
costume. But
We'll
still, it
gather
was
them
awesome.
up. Just scoop them into a corner. You go over here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, really, you just gotta like take up space with those kind of costumes.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta be like, move.
Me.
Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
gonna feel it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug
Well, now
made
I
a
wanna
jetpack
play.
once for a Halloween party. He was like, it was a steampunk party, so he made a little jetpack and it had lights at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's still somewhere. He's made a lot of Back to the Future themed things and hoverboards
Yeah.
and stuff. They don't actually hover; they are just cardboard. But you know, there's a lot of costume bits just on top of shelves and dotted
I
around.
mean, that's the thing is,
various things.
I know I can go out to a Halloween store and just buy like a Ghostbusters like cheapo costume. I know I want to build like a proton pack, like an actual. I want it to light up. I want to do the whole thing. Definitely, I gotta get around to it some year.
And then silly string.
Yes. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
Don't
Now
cross the strings.
Now I want to play Halloween games. I am about to leave the stream to go and surprise a friend for this weekend and hopefully play some games. I hope everyone else gets to play some fun games and has a if you're making costumes or if you're just getting into the season and having fun times with people, you're welcome
playing
to.
anything spooky. I'm playing Tend.
Hey, that looks like a really good game. So I can't wait to hear what you think about that one.
I played it and I really like it. I need to film it. So I really like it though.
Yeah,
It's like Stardew Valley, the board game, but they've really
yeah.
tightened up some bits, and it's big, but it's
Ooh.
like crunchy. So yeah.
This would be great for this season. I love Who Goes There. That's one of my absolute faves. Oh my god, that game is great. Have you played that one?
I don't think, unless it's called something else.
Well, there are many games with the thing, but this one is called Who Goes There specifically, which was the name of the novel about the thing. And everyone starts off fine. There's nothing wrong here. Everyone's just in an Arctic cabin, trapped with no hope, with a helicopter coming in 3 days, and you just survive 3 days. And at some point, someone turns into the thing. Oh my god, it's great.
The Thing from The Thing.
Basically, yeah, for the movie, it's the John Carpenter Thing. What happens is there's a deck of I believe it's 11 cards, or maybe it's 12, where one of the cards has the thing marker on it. The others are blank. If you ever are alone at night and you're not bunking with another person, or if you ever cannot get food in time, you draw one of those cards and everyone at the table looks at you like you're definitely it. And you're like, no, it's fine. It's blank. There's nothing wrong here. I'm fine. And then of course you're like, that's what someone who was the thing would say. I'm totally fine. And then the paranoia seeps into every decision. And then also whenever you trade something, they're like, oh, I need some metal. And you're like, I have some metal. But if you hand them metal and you have one of those cards, you also have to possibly show them that you're the thing. And if you show anyone, and it's this really cool clicky clacky marker where there's a red and a green side. And so you click it and then you hand it to someone. And if it's red, they're also the thing. And so people are starting to freak out every time one of those is shared. Oh god, it's good.
It's giving me like Werewolf in the Dark vibes.
Oh, it's really satisfying too, because they also make it so that you can like craft weapons and do so. Like everyone has a unique deck and a unique role. So like, if you're the doctor, your deck has more medical kits and like, so you're like, hey, I'm the doctor. I'll go help you out. Like, no, stay away from me because you were outside and I definitely don't know what happened to you. Get away. Someone else could be the cook and they've got more food in their bag and they're trying to make sure everyone eats. And
that's cool.
Oh, it's so fun. That's a great game. And the Luxified nature of it is really good. Chunky dice and cool minis, colorful minis, and thick cardboard and all sorts of fun stuff. That's a great game.
Alchemist.
One Alchemist. Is that a game? Or is that a role? Who
Maybe
goes
that's
there?
in a role in the game.
There is a person who is who's better at drinks. I can't remember if they're called an alchemist or not.
Okay,
I
that's
think
cool.
they're just drunk. Honestly, I think they're an alcoholic. I don't know if they're an alchemist, but
so they really don't like in Blood on the Clock Tower. They don't know who they are. They're like, I think I'm this. Yeah, that sounds cool. I did not expect that to be the game from the title.
Who goes there? Yeah, it's the name of the book that the thing was based on. So that's why it's a way to get around the IP and still having the thing, right?
Yeah, I've not seen the movie, unsurprisingly. It doesn't seem like my kind of thing.
Everybody, yeah. Well, yeah. The Thing, the movie, is creepy as hell, and it's a great thing to watch.
I've seen a clip of it in Stranger Things, and that was enough. And I was like, no, why are you showing this? No.
I will say the other thing about Certifiable Studios is the company that made Who Goes There. They taught me a lot about crowdfunding. I mean, we haven't done a lot of behind the scenes in this, but I really appreciate really good videos on Kickstarter, and they made one of the best trailer videos I've ever seen on a Kickstarter. If you go search for Who Goes There on Kickstarter and go watch that trailer, it's so good. One of the best ones I've ever seen. I also really liked their How to Play. It also taught me that How to Play can be good, because How to Plays are often, I don't want to get all that information. It's boring. One of the things that they did in their How to Play is that it sort of pans into a table, and one of the owners just turns around and says, "Oh, you're just in time. I'm about to play this turn," and like immediately just brings you right into the action. And then they freeze right when something cool is going to be happening. It's like, so here's what we know about so and so. And it was like really good. It's immediately got you in.
Really cool. Oh, before we finish up, I'm running a giveaway on Cozy Board Games, which is with Tower Rex. So if anyone wants to win like an insert from them, it's like 2 inserts, so you could get the Flamecraft one if you wanted. Then it's on Tower Rex's Instagram, Cozy Board Games Instagram, and also Board Games with Joe, who's a fan of us too. He's also doing it. And I also have a bundle which includes a pink Kickstarter Fancy Dragon thing. So if anyone wants to try and win that, I'm also giving away a copy of Sleeping Gods Primeval Peril, a sealed copy of that. So you can enter, and all you have to do is comment your board game horror stories. There are some that are like, I realized they played the rules wrong, or the lights flickered and all my pieces went missing. They're just telling fun stories.
Fun. So yeah, I like that angle. That's some good horror.
I know my horror story is like I played Power Grid for too long. With someone who knew it and no one else did.
We're going to also have fun ways to win. Everyone go do that. And then we're going to have, when we come back, we'll also have a newsletter coming up soon for Cardboard Alchemy, where there'll be ways to win stuff in there as well. We like giving away stuff at Cardboard Alchemy. Yes. So yay for all the fun stuff coming up. We have 2 more sessions that will be here on Fridays, November 1st and November 8th. Then we're going to be somewhat of a break. Then we'll come back Critter Kitchen style, and for another whole batch of fun in December.
I'll be back with a different surname.
Yeah, we won't be in space at that time. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your gaming. Enjoy your fun time with friends and family. We will be back. If you have any other questions about our games that didn't get answered, we have a Discord. We have Facebook groups you can ask on YouTube. We'll be here for you. Until then, game on.
And comment pumpkin.
Okay, that's what you got to comment.